But it also, like, even when you go to places like that too, and you see all the people on the strip playing, they just live their whole life is get up and then they play a kind of a little like comics where they do a set here and then they take their guitar over and play in another. And it's just like, it's kind of the same with chicks where it's like, there's so many lives available. You know, the idea of like decision fatigue and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I think it honestly was even like stressing me out. It's kind of like when you're fucking with your chick and you start thinking about what about this chick? Oh, remember that one? It's like, you go, this job, maybe I should have another job. It's like, oh, that'd be fun to be like a fucking this. You go, that'd be like, maybe I should do that life. Just be a musician in Nashville. Maybe I could live there. You could live anywhere, have any type of chick. There's just so many infinite possibilities that you really have to sort of stop thinking of like that.
Yeah.
Or it's impossible to be satisfied.
Yeah. You can't think of what if. That's not a healthy.
But you can't never think of it because then you'll never make any good changes. So it is tough to find.
Well, you can't constantly be looking for like a better thing in everything. That's just, no. That's
you gotta like once a month be like, this is my what if time.
Yeah.
Where you sort of just scroll through Facebook like, that'd be nice. I could do her. Maybe I'll be a plumber.
Yeah. Roofing looks fun.
I could be a roofer. Yeah, just like fucking darts with the boys.
I do sometimes think like what, because you have obviously friends from back home and you go like, what would it be like? I do think sometimes I go, that life looks fun. But I know I'm like, if you just snap my fingers and gave me that life, I'd last 2 weeks before I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. That was that old David Cross joke where he was kind of like, when he said that when he sees like heroin addicts and they're just like living in a fucking den and they just do heroin and they have no bills or money. And he's like, it's almost a little romantic where you're like, that'd be fun. Just fucking the other heroin chicks. And then you go do more heroin and your only task for the day is get heroin.
Yeah.
Like you see, and I even with all that stuff, the guy that's just nonstop drunk all day partying, like hanging out at Union Square with the other homeless guys, like maybe fuck a homeless guy behind a bin, beg for 10 minutes, get enough money to buy some food, then have a beer, have a brew at the park with the locals.
Oh yeah.
You go.
I didn't even get that joke too, where he talks about how they all like wave around until I moved to East Village, and then they're everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Just like literally just hanging out.
I did, but I did feel a little like decision fatigue coming back, where I'm just like, maybe I should move there. Maybe I should move there and be a musician. And then, honest to God, I was going to sleep last night and I couldn't think, and I was sitting there being like, what about I could do that? What if I just did? Like I did that a few months a year where I go, I'm going to stop being, because especially now, I'm like, I have enough connections probably in the industry, even in music through comedy and stuff. I go, maybe I could do that. I could go like play drums in a band in Nashville for like a month and a half, then come back to my normal life. And I woke up being like, yeah, that was crazy.
Like a Kid Rock's bar passing a bucket around.
I don't want to pass the bucket around, but I would be like a cameo drummer,
cool,
the way I see it. But then I was honestly going through logistics. I go, the number one reason I hated playing drums is because you'd have to carry the drums. So then it's like, I guess I have to have a car. So I'd have to bring my drums to the set. I'm like, okay, well, what if
You're also living in Nashville.
Yeah, so I have to move to Nashville for a year and a half. I go, what if I just made a deal with the band where they already had the drums set up, and then I could just be the drummer. And I was going through all this shit in my head yesterday. And I was like, I think, that girl thing where everything is like, I think that might be something that I need right now in my life.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, I could just 1 month a year. Kind of like Ari Shaffir, he always just goes and does some weird shit in the bushes for a couple of months a year. I was like, what if I just go and be a drummer in Nashville? That's it. For a month every year. Leave it all behind.
Leave it all, yeah.
And then I was having the logistical issues.
You do like your first few sets would be fun, and then you'd be like, fuck this.
Well, yeah, so the moral of the story is you fucking can't always, thou shalt not covet another man's wife, I think is
another man's life.
Thou shalt not covet another man's life.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think I'm sure there's always another man looking at you being like, I could be a
for sure
fat gay podcaster.
Oh, I'm sure there are.
But I'll tell you a perfect example of that is there's so many people. I mean, I don't know if you have this, and I think I know myself well enough at this stage of my life but sometimes I'll look at other people that don't have all this controversy in their life, and you're kind of like, that'd be a simpler,
Absolutely.
But I know myself well enough to do whatever I did, I'd cause trouble in that,
Yeah.
If I fucking was in tech, I'd be like, we should be doing things different. Like, I'd be that guy probably no
James
matter.
Damore being like writing and being like, women and men are different.
Well, maybe it wouldn't even be about this stuff. It might just be about like the policy.
Sure.
You know, if I was working at a fucking construction company, it'd probably take me whatever amount of time to be like, I should start my own one. This is all, why are there all these rules? Like, I'd be fighting some other stupid fight there.
Yeah, there's always gonna be a battle.
Yeah, so I think I'd be that, but I know that they'll be. How many of those people will be like, I wish I could fucking do what you do and actually like say what I actually want to say and say the truth, but I'm like too much of a pussy.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
And you
yeah,
could be like,
are.
you could now go start on this, and after like a week of starting on it, they'd be like, oh fuck, no.
Well, they aren't that guy. I think that's the
Too,
closest
yeah.
you can get is probably the moral of the whole thing is the closest you can get to knowing that it's the right thing for you is matching your personality and who you are with the things. You go, okay, I know I need this with chicks. I know I fucking need a set. You know what I mean? I know, because here's a perfect example. Long term, I know that I get bored of like really tall girls or bigger girls. So it's like if I'm dating someone longer term, I know that I get less bored of it if they're small. So you kind of do all this deducing, and then you can come to
The type.
Yeah. And you go, it's not to say you don't look around and go, he's a tall one right now. Fucking pop. But then, you know what I mean?
He's a tall boy.
But you can get close. You can get close enough to match it. I was, you know how girls say they want honesty, but like, really that's just autistic.
Yeah.
It's like, I want you to be honest. But that's like what autistic people do. Like, you're fat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, but I was saying like,
You could lose a few.
yeah, what girls honesty, what a real honesty is a girl being like, girls will be like, do you think that girl's hot? What? I don't care. It's like, okay, you want honesty? I want to fuck her. 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 See that fat cashier? I want to fuck her. I want to take every single one of these girls for a spin.
Yeah, and you go, oh. Not that kind of honesty.
Isn't that honesty for a guy though? When a girl's like, what do you think of that girl? You think she's hot? Here's the honest truth. I want to fuck every
But
single
I think,
one.
you know what? It's almost like
I want to fuck 95% of girls.
I think girls like know that.
Wow.
They just know guys.
They don't want to hear it.
They don't want to hear it, but I think they know it.
I'd never admit girls are hot if they go, what do you think of this actress? I go, kind of annoying personality. I always divert it.
You neg them.
I go, yeah, I don't really like actresses. She'll go, no, but like her looks. I go, I don't really, it's not actresses for me aren't good, man.
It's like, don't like a brunette. It's like, I'm a brunette. It's like that type of brunette.
That's a different type of brunette, man. You don't want nothing to do with that type of brunette. You got to keep it away. But it is funny. But that's why the Instagram and everything makes, and this point has been made, but that's why Instagram and Facebook and everything makes people so fucking depressed. Cause it's like, it's one thing. And that idea that with these two ways of lives, like, being in the fucking city and all the flashing lights and seeing everything and being online, being an online person, you have to see it all. Whereas there is so much to say about, you have your fucking house in the middle of nowhere. You have 4 friends. None of them are doing that much better than you. Like, one of your friends isn't a fucking billionaire.
Yeah.
Like, you guys all kind of make the same amount of money. So you don't have like, what if I was rich? No one's rich. Mm-hmm. This is what it is.
But they're all comfortable, and yeah, they're like,
you're not comparing your girl to every girl
That's
on
what
the
I was-
street.
that's
You're
literally-
like, maybe I'd rather fuck Karen.
but that's what I was saying is like, I have friends who have that, and you do, they do have social media, some of them, and you do see that and you go, oh, that looks kind of nice. But
Yeah,
I
it
just
does.
know that I'm like, if I got into that where, I moved to like Huntsville, Ontario or something and just set up shop, I'd be like, oh.
It looks nice for 2 seconds, but
Yeah.
it's not what you want.
No,
Danny, your personality, you need the thrills and chills. You need the lights, the camera.
I need the thrills. I need the hustle, the bustle.
Danny needs
the subway stabbings, the face slashings.